Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome back. I'm probably not gonna. Oh, wow, that's weird. That's a bad camera angle. But I'm probably not gonna talk much today. I just wanted to do a quick recap, and I'm probably not gonna edit this much as well because there's no time. But the Asia Cup is starting soon, tomorrow actually, or in a couple hours, 4 hours ish. And I thought that we should talk about every team and their squads. Let's probably get started with India. I mean, I'm probably not going to talk like too deep into everything and not going to go into like all the details of the associate nations. I don't watch their cricket as much, but like I still do look like I still do look at their stats and whatever, but I looked at some of them. UAE looks definitely like underdogs. They look really good. Power hitting, that's their best department. Bowling, kind of mid, but power hitting, they are fantastic, honestly. I think you guys can hear my fan. I should probably switch that off, right? But whatever. Uh, they look really good. Their power hitting looks really good. Oman, their bowling is always top notch, especially their spin. It's, I don't know, their bowling's always been top notch. So they look like underdogs to me. I'm not going to talk too deep about them, but they're definitely really good. So those are two players. Also, new background, right? That looks pretty cool, I think. You can see my speakers or whatever. You can also see my Lego. That's cool, right? Yeah, anyway. First, I'm going to talk about India, obviously, because headliners, you know? India left off with a win against an England Test series and a win for T20s, because this is the T20 Asia Cup, remember that, in the T20 series. They started very well in T20 internationals under Gautam Gambhir, and the new players, they look fantastic when they're coming in. The T20 World Cup champions, by the way. So they are playing without their two best players of all time in T20s especially. Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma, obviously they've retired, but they have won every T20 series that they've played every main T20 series that they've played ever since the T20 World Cup in 2024. So they do look like the favorites to win, as they usually do. Obviously, they picked their main starters for this format: Abhishek, Akshar, Hardik. Well, their main starters after 2024. Abhishek, Akshar, Hardik, Surya, Arshdeep, Rinku, Bumrah, and Kuldeep. Tilak, Sanju, and Varun Chakravarti have all had great performances in white ball cricket recently, so obviously they'd be starters for the squad as well. Varun in the Champions Trophy, Sanju in the Bangladesh and South Africa series, and Tilak in the England and South Africa series. So those three picks are obvious as well. So let's talk about the rest of the squad. Number one, no Yashasvi Jaiswal. That's a huge miss. Obviously, I'm not concerned with it because this is only the Asia Cup and it's very much an experimental squad for most teams. This is a very experimental squad for India as well. He's a generational talent, so I do hope he gets into the T20 squad at some point. He should be playing all formats by now, but he's not. Weird. I don't know. He should be playing all formats. Same thing with Shreyas Iyer. Honestly, he's not a generational talent as compared to Yashasvi Jaiswal, but he had a pretty good IPL season, but I still think I think Gill, comparatively in the last 3 years compared to Shreyas Iyer, I'm still fine with Gill going over Shreyas Iyer. Gill also performed really well in the last IPL. I don't have any lighting here though. That's the thing. I just set it up. This is a rough environment, and that's why I haven't been able to record recently, because this is pretty rough environment. So yeah, so I don't have like good lighting here. So yeah, that's why. Well, okay, I'm getting off topic. Again, Asia Cup, I'm not too concerned with anything. For India especially, I think for teams like Pakistan, Afghanistan, I don't think Afghanistan, not that as much, but Afghanistan definitely. Pakistan, Afghanistan, Bangladesh, I think this time they've also come up with a very experimental squad, but I really like it, and I think it's definitely the best squad that they could have picked. Even without Shakib, Mahmudullah, Mohammed. I'm getting off topic again, right? Mushfiqur Rahim. It's a very experimental squad for most teams, but I think for India especially, it's very experimental, so I understand. Washington Sundar, notable exclusion. He is in the reserves, but very notable exclusions. He really. Oh yeah, Siraj has been rested. That's why I didn't add him there. Washington Sundar. He never gets the chances in white ball cricket. He never gets chances in IPL either, just because he's both like really good with bat and ball. He did it with Gujarat this year. He was really good with bat and ball, and he was really good with bat especially. He was really economical with the ball, And economy, very important T20 cricket. You could have your teammate going for 3 for 56 or something. That's worse than that's worse than 0 for 20 in my opinion, because 0 for 20, 120 for 0 is a terrible score. You should easily be able to take that down. Obviously, that's not a realistic score, but it's still a terrible score. Anyway, Washington Sundar, I think he's very good and he should be in this format, especially T20s. He's proved himself in both ODIs and Tests as well, so he's an all-format player, just like Jaiswal. Again, Asia Cup shouldn't matter that much, but it is a notable exclusion. And honestly, he's won 2 Player of the Series in T20 internationals. I got that right. Yeah, and he was great in the England Test series, and he truly looks like someone that you can actually depend on for a spin bowling all-rounder. But Aksar is there, obviously, and it's really unfortunate for Sundar to be playing in a time with Aksar, especially when Aksar is like in his age-wise prime. He's 31, 30-ish. Very good. 2 final notable exclusions, Sai Sudarshan and Ravi Bishnoi. Sai is understandable. He hasn't played like any innings in T20 international cricket as well. But Ravi Bishnoi, he was top 1 spinner for India in T20 cricket at one point. I'm just saying, at one point, maybe like 2 years ago, 3 years ago-ish. He was excellent in that 2021 to 2024 phase when India themselves weren't particularly good in the T20 format. So I thought that he should have been included in the 2024 World Cup squad itself, but he wasn't. Any white ball series that India plays, generally he should be included. But honestly, he hasn't had the best record recently. 2024 was a terrible year for him, both international and in IPL. 2025 also not that great. But I think definitely all he needs is an actual spinning pitch. He can do really good. An actual pitch that gives something to the bowlers. That never happens, I don't believe, in the IPL anymore. But anyway, we're done with that. Let's talk about the actual squad. Harshit Rana. Confusing. On one hand, amazing 3 for 33. That was a really good spell. Against England in his first T20 international. But on the other hand, that is his only T20 international. But honestly, it doesn't even matter to me. He can be a great asset for India in the future, not even in white ball, but even in the Test format. But in the T20 format, I don't think he has a future in the T20 format. As of now, he's 22. I doubt it. Bumrah's 30. Hardik is 30-ish as well. Arshdeep is 24. Those 3 are like really good bowlers. Maybe if like you're playing a T20 in Australia and that's only for World Cups, when you're doing that, I doubt they're playing another series in Australia in the next 2 years. Next 2-3 years. I doubt it. But I say that he would be really good in Australia, New Zealand, or South Africa in Test cricket. But not in the Asia Cup. Again, this is the Asia Cup, so you shouldn't take it too seriously. Shivam Dubey is another interesting pick. He's obviously had some great performances in the past, especially in 2024 with a Player of the Series and a solid knock in the T20 World Cup final, and with supporting performances scattered along the T20 World Cup. But as of recently, he has not been that great. He wasn't good in IPL 2025. I mean, like, you would consider him, like, maybe an anchor. Like, maybe he played that slow finisher role that Dhoni usually does in ODIs. But that's a slow finisher role in T20 cricket. Batting at 6 is probably the main reason. He should be batting at 5 or 4. Regular position at 5, he's probably going to be a great pick for India. Gill and Jitesh are also confusing picks. I think that Gill, it's confusing because he hasn't been as great in the T20 international format. It's not that he's good. He's a bad batter or a bad T20 player in general. I think he's a fantastic T20 player. But in the international side, as his competitors, you have Rutraj Gaikwad, you have Sanju Samson. He's not as good as either of them. Your number 3 is probably going to be Tilak Verma, right? So he's definitely slotting in the opening slot. Sanju Samson, Rutraj Gaikwad, he's not as good as either of them in the T20 international format. T20s, including IPL, I think in the last 3 years, I'd say he's better than both of them. Both Rutraj. Well, Rutraj has been injured in IPL 2025, so I'm not going to count that against him. But he was really good in 2024, 2023. 2022, he was kind of bad, though. Actually, 2022, Ruturaj was pretty good, actually. I think, but compared with his competitors, I'd say Gill is like worse in the T20 international format, but he has scored a lot of runs recently, so you can't just drop him. I think the vice captain role, that's a bit too much. They are molding him into a captaincy type of thing, but he's 24, right? That's way too young, in my opinion. I mean, Kohli was groomed at that age, but he hasn't shown as much prowess as Kohli has all format. Like Kohli had 2014, he had 2014 Test and T20s. He had a lot of good ODIs before that as well. I think Kohli he was another level at that age. So I think grooming him this early, maybe not the best move. They did that with Prithvi Shaw. Again, granted that was a lot earlier, but still, I don't like it. I would rather someone else be vice captain. I'm not going to say Ruturaj Gaikwad, but I will say someone like Sanju Samson is a good one. He's 30 now, age-wise prime. I would probably go for him. I can't even lie. But anyway, Jitesh is a weird one. Obviously, he is a wicket keeper. He is a middle order wicket keeper, which is what a lot of teams need now. I think that Dhoni revolution like really came into consideration. Oh, I'd rather have someone who doesn't open be my keeper rather than someone who opens be my keeper, because not everyone can be a Gilchrist. Not everyone can play as fast as Gilchrist, especially if you are a keeper, right? Because keeping takes everything out of you. You got to stay in the field for 20 overs. You got to be managing it. You got to be working with the captain all the time. It's really hard being a keeper. Especially in, well, not even just in T20. T20 is a bit better, but Test, that's why Gilchrist batted at 6 in Test. So like you have to take it into consideration. But honestly, I think Jadesh, it's a weird one. He did have a good IPL season, and he could be a solid future finisher for India. But I feel like they were grooming either Pant or Sanju for that job and not Jitesh. Because if they were going to go with Jitesh, he had good domestic performances, just didn't perform in the IPL. But whenever they played with him, he just didn't perform. I think he averaged 18 or something in T20 internationals. Wow, that is... he had a good IPL season though. I guess that's the main that's the main point that they're going for. And Pant and Sanju, all that could be to say, oh well, we need Jaiswal to open, but Jaiswal isn't in the side either. Like, I know I just said it's the Asia Cup, but it is a blueprint for India's next 3 years in the T20 format, and one of those being a title-defending T20 World Cup. I would kind of take maybe this Asia Cup a bit seriously. I know I did just say it's just the Asia Cup, but it does act as a blueprint. In my opinion, I think that Sanju could have stayed as a keeper, opening the batting, and maybe someone like KL Rahul. He did a great as a finisher in ODIs recently, especially in the Champions Trophy. And looking at Jitesh's stats and just from a bird's eye view, not going too deep into it, he averages less than 30 in T20s. Less than 30, wow. And has only hit 150 in a competitive league, even though that was a fantastic innings. That was an amazing inning. I think if they really did want Jitesh to do well, then they probably should have started with him and backed him since 2022 or since 2019. I think ever since KL Rahul got dropped from the side, that's when they should have backed Jitesh if they really wanted him. Water break. I'm not going to cut this out, okay? I'm done editing. Okay, Pakistan now. They have an interesting side. Obviously, you have picks needing no explanation. Fakhr Zaman, Salman Ali Agha, Saim Ayub, Kushtil Shah, Abrar Ahmed, Harris Rauf, and Shaheen Shah Afridi. Okay, Shaheen Shah Afridi and Harris Rauf. Harris Rauf has actually been looking pretty good recently. Shaheen Shah Afridi, on the other hand, has not. I'm still going to back him. 24 years of age. I think he's still really good. Okay. Let's clear the easy non-people who are in the squad. Okay, Babar and Rizwan. They're not in the squad. I can't tell if this is a good or a bad thing. On one hand, we all know how slow they bat, 129 and 126 strike rate respectively. These two strike rates, especially after the maturity of the T20 format back in, honestly, 2015, are terrible. But on the other hand, they have been the backbone of all formats in recent years for Pakistan. They have definitely done well at times, and have been pretty vital to the team. And that's probably what I've said. I probably would have said this a couple of months ago. Uh, right now, Pakistan look comparatively better in T20s internationals without Babar and Rizwan. That's why I think this is a solid squad even without them. The top order looks solid. Middle order has some strong hitters. So actually, batting looks pretty good. Notable exclusion number three I guess, yeah. Naseem Shah. I genuinely like the way Naseem bowls. He comes in with a lot of passion, and he bowls very high effort deliveries, but he never gets the results. Obviously, if you can't get the results, it's not ideal to keep someone like him in the side, but I think backing him would have been a great move from the selectors. Even then, the other two pacers are fine, Harris and Shaheen Shah Afridi. Abbas Afridi, another notable exclusion. Although he's not well known, he's been a great pacer and he averages only 15 in T20 internationals. He should have been excluded and he would have matched well with Shaheen in the power play. Moving on to the actual players in the squad, Mohammad Harris. He scored 100 recently against Bangladesh barely a month ago, right? So yeah, obviously he's going to be in the squad. I'm just talking about new players for now. Hassan Nawaz, also in the same boat. He is a great power hitter, fantastic finisher. He kind of like Dhoni in the ODIs kind of vibe. I also talked about this with a couple other players. He needs to be set, but he can absolutely finish when required. I really like the choice of him, Hassan Nawaz especially. I do not know how to pronounce his name, but Farhan, very similar to Nawaz, just isn't as consistent. I think that Farhan needs to come into form, especially during T20 tournaments for Pakistan. He is more suited to be a number 3, in my opinion, than bad at number 5, 6, 4-ish position. So maybe do that. Now on to the all-rounders. Mohammad Nawaz. Not great at all. It's pretty weird why he's still here. Just stats wise, he also lacks good T20 performances as well. I don't know why he was even added to the squad. I feel like Amir Jamal is a good all rounder, or maybe even if he wanted a spinner, maybe Shajid Khan. He can't bat as well, but Shadab Khan, I think Shadab Khan, I don't remember if he's injured or if he's just like not playing anymore. Hassan also recently said 3 months ago, was it 3 months ago? I don't know. That part-time spinners are more vital than specialist batters in Pakistan. So I think a lot better than what he chose here. Mohammad Nawaz is not a good batter and barely scraping average as a bowler. Even someone with similar stats like Jadeja or Krunal Pandya, they have significant performances that have made them far more vital than people will see by their stats. Hussein Talat is next. And honestly, I don't know much about it. He looks like a solid batting oriented all-rounder, but his strike rate is not the best. He's more of an anchor compared to the lower order border batters. But I genuinely think he could be the next big thing for Pakistan. But Amir Jamal, far better in my opinion. I keep saying his name. He should be in the squad. I know he hasn't had a lot of recent performances, but 2023, that knock in the gap, I really like that knock. Fahim Ashraf, same thing as Nawaz. Please no. Sufyan Mukin. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. But he's another new player who I don't think I've talked about before, but he's great for Pakistan. He's performed well in T20s recently and a good young spinner, vital spinner for Pakistan. Salman Mirza, also fantastic. A terrific young fast bowler, also vital for Pakistan. And he's done well in the recent PSL and the recent Bangladesh series. The problem is that with like most young and upcoming fast bowlers, his control over his movement not very evident, right? But I do feel like he has the talent and he could definitely do well in the future if he is groomed and trained properly, which is why Asia Cup, very important for Pakistan, especially this year. As for the other two pacers, I think that they should be thrown out of the team. Even if it is the Asia Cup, Wasim Jr. has had very little remarkable performances that I can think of, even though he looks solid at times, and honestly, same thing with Hassan Ali. The Asia Cup, not that big of a tournament, but for a team like Pakistan, who usually does well in the T20 World Cup, and didn't do well this year, this could be very, very vital for them. It could spell the end of something solid. 2021 was their last good year, or the beginning of something amazing. And with this team, lots of ups and downs, but for me, the positives are significantly better than the negatives. But one team is only strong as their weakest link. They have a pretty good chance of winning the cup and don't even have that bad of a team. My biggest concern is their top order, honestly, because they don't really have a proper number 3, which is very, very important in T20 cricket. But anyway, next team. This is 20 minutes long already. I'm not even going to edit this anymore, bro. Sri Lanka has a pretty mid team. Home to some of the best T20 players of all time. Mahela, Malinga, Dilshan, others. I just couldn't think of any. This team does not show that. It's a mix of older players and younger players. I'm not going to talk about everything for Sri Lanka because this video would be an hour long. But I will cover the highlights. The top order does not look stable. Besides Nsanka, the top order... Actually, they did chase a 195 recently. This was written before that. 195... Kushal Pereira played really well. I think that other dude, I forgot his name. But he played really well as well. But I didn't talk about him. Kamil Mishara, I think. That's who it was. He played really good as well. So I do like those two now. I think I talked about them here, but I projected them. I don't think I talked about Kamil Mishara, but I talked about Kushal Pereira. He wasn't that good. Prior to this, he's just this is the first time I'm seeing him perform really well in the T20 format. He is really old as well. He's 34 now. So I don't think that Pereira, his recent performances have been that good. And rest, Kamil Mishara, he did play pretty well. Kushal Mendes, he's out of form. He's very inconsistent. Nisanka, he's amazing though. Last 1 year in T20s, 491 runs in 12 innings, averaging 40. He's chased most of the tough scores completely by himself, and he's tried his best to anchor the innings while accelerating at the end. Just a proper T20 batter. If someone at the other end can also play a role to get quick runs, Kushal Pereira can do, we saw that in the last match against Zimbabwe. He did play pretty well. I can't even lie. But I think that Pereira and Nisanka should open the batting with Kushal Mendes at 3. That's what I like for them. For the middle order, I really like the all-rounder field approach. In the ongoing Zimbabwe series, they do have a good and solid middle order, with Kamendu Mendes playing an excellent finisher role, and with Hasaranga coming back into the side after a year? I don't know. I don't remember the last time Sri Lanka played a T20 international. But Hasaranga's coming back into the side. The depth will be a place for the bowlers to watch out for, because we know how good Hasaranga is with the bat, actually. The middle order is easily countered by spin, though. So if Nisanka doesn't score, it's over for them. Asalanka, even though he's a really good ODI batter, he's just never gone that same spark in T20s, and honestly, this is probably due to the sharper and quicker changes that happen naturally in T20 cricket. Hasaranga and Kamendu Mendes and Shanaka are all solid players of spin, though, so maybe they're not the best players of spin, but they are solid. The bowling looks normal. I would like to see Asita Fernando play a white ball match at least some point in the future. That's all I have to say about it. Bowling looks solid, good spin, average pace bowling, terrible batting on all fronts, except for Patum Nisanka. I doubt that they would beat any other team other than Oman or Hong Kong or the UAE. I think even the UAE could be a struggle for them. They couldn't even beat Zimbabwe. They lost to Zimbabwe because Zimbabwe was so good at bowling. So honestly, I doubt that they're going to do that well in this tournament, but it could be a good wake-up call for them. I'm not even sure. Afghanistan. I don't really know what to talk about for them because, I don't know that many cricketers from domestic cricket in Pakistan. And, I feel like they've done really well in T20 cricket in general. They almost made it to the Super... Oh, no, they didn't make it to the semifinals last year in the T20 World Cup. They look really good. I think they are the second best Asian team right now. I think they are the second best Asian team right now. Looks like a sleeper team, like most Afghanistan teams. Ramanullah, a lot of their players are out of form though. Ramanullah Garbaz is out of form. Rashid Khan has become readable, but I feel like the middle order and top order, they just really make up for that. They haven't won a lot of their last T20s. They lost their last one against Pakistan. Maybe the third best team in Asia, reconsidering that. But I think they'll do really good. Maybe second or third place. They're better than Bangladesh, in my opinion. Actually, you know what? Speaking of Bangladesh, let's talk about them right now. I like the direction that the team is going in. The side is chock full of 24 to 30-year-olds. That's good. So I'm not expecting that much from them. But they do look to be heading in the right direction. I'm not going to talk about everything. Just the highlights. Linda's captaincy. Not my favorite. Not my personal preference. But being the most experienced player in the squad, it makes a lot of sense, right? He hasn't been in the best squad, but his glove work, he has been best form with the bat, but his glove work is still top notch. For the top order, not much impresses me, but for the middle, it looks great. Jakar Ali, Mehdi Hassan Miraz, Rishad Hussain, Tawhid Hridroy. I've never been able to pronounce his name. I don't know how to pronounce it. I've never seen anyone pronounce it, but he's a good middle order. It's a good middle order. Looks like it could pack a punch or stabilize the innings, depending on what's needed. What I'm saying, very versatile middle order, very versatile batting order itself. Bowlers look standard. You have Mustafizur Rahman, Tuscan Ahmed, and Shariful Islam. Very good pace bowlers. Just a really good pace attack, honestly. This is a really good pace attack. One thing I really like about Pakistan, at least Bangladesh in the last year or so, they have a lot of passion. Like unlike other teams recently, they have a lot of passion, especially the young players. And I haven't seen much of this in Bangladesh, especially since 2019. It's very much an experimental team, but it looks really good to me, and they could continue with this team maybe in 2026 World Cup, whenever it is. I think it is 2026. That's all I have for today. Probably should have made this a lot earlier, but I don't have time to edit. So you're just gonna see the full unedited version. I don't think I made that many mistakes as I usually do. Usually I'd make mistakes. I made at least 8 minutes worth of mistakes, and this would be cut down to 15 minutes. But this is actually 27 minutes, and I'm gonna post this just like this. So you're gonna see that entire clip of me just staring off screen. You know, sometimes during recordings, I literally just pull out my phone and play a video game or something. I don't know why I do this, but sometimes it works. 27 minutes, not that bad. Okay, bye. See you next week. I don't even know when I'll post another video, dude. Bye.